My name is Trina Bawden-Smith, and I'm the founder and the director of the Yoga Therapy Institute. And we specialise in training for yoga teachers and yoga therapists. And we also offer yoga retreat holidays. Today, I'm delighted to be talking to Sal Flynn. Sal is a leading retreat facilitator, experienced yoga therapy educator, and counselling and psychotherapy supervisor. She's been teaching yoga for over 40 years. Sal and I have been working together since 2012. And in that time, Sal has taken many groups of travellers on retreat holidays to Bhutan and different parts of India, combining yoga with travel. We're now embarking on a retreat holiday to a new destination, Sri Lanka. It takes us many months to organise these tours. To prepare for this trip, recently I went with some of my cousins to all of the destinations that we're visiting on our upcoming retreat holiday to Sri Lanka. We take great care when setting the itinerary to allow for a balance of touring, yoga and relaxation, as well as staying in beautiful hotels and eating delicious food. I was blown away by Sri Lanka. The people were so friendly, the incredible sacred sites, ancient cities, tea plantations, the culture, the food, amazing wildlife, and beautiful beaches. I'm always staggered by the fact that there are 8 UNESCO World Heritage sites on one tiny island, of which we will be visiting 6. Sri Lanka is a powerful destination for a yoga retreat holiday. The Sri Lankan people practice a range of religions, with Buddhism the most prevalent, followed by Hinduism, Islam, and Christianity. The land is steeped in spiritual practice that has taken place over millennia. There are stupas, temples, mosques, monasteries, and churches dotted across the landscape. One highlight, we'll visit the Jaya Sri Maha Bodhi, which is a sacred 2,000-plus-year-old bo tree, which is located in the ancient city of Anuradhapura. In fact, this sacred city was established around this tree with a cutting from the tree of enlightenment, the Buddha's fig tree in Bodh Gaya. It was brought to Sri Lanka in the 3rd century BC by Sanghamitra, the founder of an order of Buddhist nuns. Very cool. So welcome, Sal. Do you have a favourite trip or memory that you want to share?
Thanks, Trina. You know, it's so hard to choose one memory or one experience, because one of the things that I love most about doing these trips is that I get to re-experience these extraordinary destinations through the eyes and through the experience of my friends who I'm traveling with. And so in many ways, every trip brings it all to life once again. It's almost like I'm visiting for the first time. And so that makes it really magical for me. But like I say, every experience for me is just special because I get to do it as if it's the first time. And I love being there with people who share my interest in other cultures.
I've been reflecting on what makes these retreat holidays so special. Sal, what would you say are the top reasons why these trips are so unforgettable?
Yeah, I've thought about this a lot, and particularly because I recently did a holiday, not for a yoga retreat. I recently was a guest on a guided tour, and it was very nice. I enjoyed it very much. My partner and I had a great time. But what I found interesting was that there was nothing that we all had in common other than we were all going on holidays together. And it made me think about why the tours that we do seem to work so cohesively. And I think it's because, for a start, we all go with a shared interest in visiting other cultures, and in particular, experiencing the spiritual aspects of those cultures, because most of us who come have been practicing yoga and or meditation, or just have taken an interest in other spiritual practices. And so that gives us something that we're all in common. And I think that's a really good place to start. And the second thing I think is that these are yoga holidays, and I really like to stress that. So we do yoga in the morning, and we do a little yoga and meditation in the afternoon, and in between we visit the country that we're visiting. But at no time is this like a complete retreat. We're there on holidays. So we relax, we enjoy the practices. The practices give us an opportunity to reflect on the experiences that we're having as each day goes by. And and then at the end of the day, we all relax over beautiful food. If somebody wants a glass of wine, nobody's going to say no. We can relax and make it a holiday. And everybody seems to enjoy that. So it's not like we're on a Spartan retreat where, we're just eating mung beans and, drinking ginger tea, although that's very nice too.
We also partner with specialist travel agency Bhutan and Beyond. We've been working with James Irving for more than a decade, and James offers a very high level of customer service. Nothing is too much trouble. He keeps all the travellers updated about flights and visas and other important information, so you don't have to worry about anything. All you have to do is pack your bags and just enjoy the experience. James makes the entire experience seamless and stress-free. So Sal, tell us, what kind of yoga experience should people expect during the retreat?
Well, I've always found it quite interesting, Trina, that the experience is very, very simple. The style of practice is very simple and very accessible for everybody. In some ways, the people who have the greatest need to adapt themselves to my style of practice are the ones who are really, really experienced. Because I ask people to just strip everything back to very, very simple practices. You certainly don't expect to work up a sweat in my yoga asana class. And what we aim to do is to create the circumstances for us all to reflect on the experience that we're having. And by doing the yoga practices, it creates the space for that reflection to occur. Because I think when we're on a holiday, when we're traveling, there's so many thoughts and ideas and emotions and images and all coming at us all at once. And it's not till way, way later when we're home again that we have a chance to stop and reflect on what that was all about. So I think combining a yoga and meditation practice with our holiday enables us to just pause every day and just ask ourselves, how am I going? What does this mean to me? What's it bringing up in me that I find interesting? Because by being exposed to different countries, different cultures, I think it shows us more of who we are. In our daily lives, we're so distracted by necessity. We've all got lives to live, families to run, businesses to run, jobs to do. To take that all away and just immerse ourselves in another culture while making the space to go, whoa, how is this for me? What does this feel like? What does it mean to me? Then I think that is a really special opportunity for us to spend meaningful time with ourselves. Now, having said that, I think people generally enjoy the opportunity to have a stretch, to have a relaxation. We do a lot of walking on these trips. We do a lot of daily steps. And so we're not looking for exercise in our yoga practice. We're looking for an opportunity to just calm down, settle in our bodies, get to know ourselves again in a different way, in a different place. These practices are very, very gentle So the style of practice that I lead in these sessions that we have is drawn very much from the lineage of Krishnamacharya, the influence of Mr. Desikachar, Mr. Mohan, and also the very strong influence of Donafari as a modern Western teacher. And I have, through my own personal practice, I guess I've just found a way to make these kind of inquiries gently, with curiosity, without overdoing it, without overstretching, without trying to work up a sweat, without making it a big deal. And so what I find is anybody who comes along can very easily participate. And obviously we can adapt to people's needs. But Trina, you've been to some of those classes on retreats. I think it's fair to say that you would also agree that it's pretty much accessible to everyone, whether they've done yoga before or not. They just have to be interested and curious.
Yeah, absolutely, Sal. It's a really accessible practice, and I really love it too. And over the years, we've come to realize that one of the highlights of these tours is actually the other travelers. Who do you think this retreat is perfect for?
It's so lovely when a group comes together and everybody comes with their own ideas about what to expect, with their own anxieties about travel and meeting new people and um, how it's all going to work. And what I really love is to watch the way a group gradually comes together and gets to know each other. As I said before, we all have a common interest and we all are everyday people. There's no gurus here. You know, we're just everyday people who are coming together. We have a lot of people come with buddies. In fact, one group, one participant in the past, she had such a good time. She keeps bringing more buddies, and they've all started a friendship group outside of the trips. So it's really available, that kind of opportunity to socialize with like-minded people. Equally, we also have a lot of people come on these trips who come on their own, who don't know anybody else, and gradually, they all kind of merge in with the group. We make plenty of space for people to be on their own if they want to, that nothing is compulsory. But we always come together in the yoga room. We always come together over a meal. And even when we're traveling from one location to the next, if it's been a big day, you can just take a seat on the bus on your own and nobody's going to be uncomfortable with that. Or if you want to have a buddy with you, you can just take a seat with anybody at all. One of the things that I find really lovely is on these trips, when we're all at a shared table at a mealtime, it's never happens that I think, who am I going to sit next to? Everybody just takes their place and everybody's happy to sit with everybody else. So it's really quite a communal experience without any pressure to be anything to anyone.
Really wonderful, Sal. I really appreciate you mentioning that because, if somebody is feeling a bit nervous about joining a group tour on their own, you know, there really is no need. It is such a welcoming group that's set up and created in such a beautiful vibe by yourself. And we really appreciate that as well. And so you've led many retreats before. What do people tell you after they return home? What tends to stay with them long after the retreat ends?
It's a good question. And I have trouble answering it because I think one of the things that happens is we go home and the experience comes with us and we sort of marinate in it. When I run into people who've done the trips, they're always they like to remember the moments that we've all shared. They say that it was a really unique experience. They say that it was something that enabled them to to have a gentle inquiry into who they are and how they are once they have found themselves as visitors in someone else's culture. And so what they take home with them is very, very personal. And I guess it's a question that we'd have to ask of their nearest and dearest. So even though these trips are lovely, sociable holiday experiences, they are also very intimate, very personal experiences that everybody holds close to their heart.
For someone who's sitting on the fence about joining the trip, what would you say to them?
First of all, I'd be interested to know what was keeping them on the fence. um, uh, I guess I'd just say this makes cultural travel easy. You mentioned James before, James Irving from Bhutan and Beyond Travel. What an extraordinary person. Anybody who has any reservations about travel to a different culture and how that's all going to be managed, I would say, you know, this is the most seamless travel experience that I've ever known. And as you know, Trina, the very first time I visited Bhutan, James looked after the tour for my partner and we've worked together ever since. And that was 20 years ago. James makes the whole thing totally stress-free. Now, once we get there, I'd say for anybody who is concerned about how the experience will go, is really that you're amongst friends. And even if we've never met before, you're in safe company with people who share your interests and people who have a very deep respect for other cultures and who want to learn about other cultures, who want to learn about themselves within the cultural experience, and who, you know, feel like doing a little bit of yoga along the way.
Thanks, Sal. Is there anything else you wanted to share?
I guess the thing I want to offer people is a travel experience with meaning. We're not just visiting tourist sites and tourist attractions. We're visiting countries, cultures, and sites where spiritual practice has taken place over millennia. I mean, it's pretty mind-blowing. And so I love the fact that we get to visit these places and I guess expose ourselves to the amazing energy there, the energy that has been built up over so many, sometimes thousands of years of spiritual practice, and we get to dip into it. I just feel so privileged to be able to do that. That even as I say this now, I feel emotion rising. It's just a gift.
Thank you so much for sharing, Sal. Everyone, if you'd like to join Sal to find out more about our upcoming retreat holiday with Sal, you can find out more on the link below and we'll send you a full itinerary. We only have a few places left and we really hope you can join us.